All right, so we're working on adding a restriction that allows a player to carry items only up to a specified maximum weight. The maximum weight a player can carry is an attribute of the player. So we just got done making a bunch of changes in Room so that we can pull, rather than just pulling the field name, we'll be able to pull the actual item out of the room. And then when we're in player, when we do that, then we can get the weight of the item or whatever other attributes we need from the item. So let's open up player. Oh, so the first thing it looks like we need to do is, it says the maximum weight a player can carry is an attribute of the player. So let's, let me open up the player here. Let's go ahead and make a max weight field. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, let's just see an item. How do we store weight? So we store weight as an int, an item. So let me copy that. Make sure, because I just want to, it just makes sense to store it as the same kind of value, right? The same type. Let me paste that in. And let's just call it max weight. Okay. And we're going to, just like we did in Rooms, we're going to store our items as a hash map so that we can pull out the actual item itself based on the name of the item. Okay, so our key is going to be the names of the different items, and we're going to be able to pull a particular item for that name out of our hash map. Okay, so we're going to need, again, we're going to need this to be hash map instead of array list. It's going to be string, comma, item. So it has to be break. Okay, oh, and then we add the item. So we're going to add the item in the, we want to, instead of adding a string, let's see, what's the best way to do that? Let me think about this for a second. I'm going to add an item. Let's see. We want to do, basically we want to do, oh yeah, so since it's a hash map, we need to do a put. Okay, and then what we can do is, to get the actual item itself, we can pull that from the current room. I think we have a current room, right? Yeah, current room. And we can do the remove item from the room, because now we have that, we added that method to the room. I'm going to use field name now. And then we'll just put the field name along with the actual item that we just put. Let's see if that works. Now get stored items. So if we want to get our list of items here, basically we want to do something similar to the items, the way we got the items out of the room. So don't we have a string in here, exits, items. So we want to do something basically like this, right? So let me see if I can copy this. And I'm gonna use this instead. Does this do what I want? Items for that. Oh yeah, we could check and see. So if we wanted to have this check about the items, we could say once we get the keys, or once we get, actually we just do that right off of items, right? We could say if items is empty, and actually this items is empty is going to return true or false by itself, so we don't need to do a comparison with those booleans. So we can say if it's empty, we could just return this string here. So let's do this, copy and paste. Okay. So if it returns this string, then it won't do the rest of this. But if items is not empty, then it'll go through and do that. So that looks like it's going to do the same thing as your other one, except now we can do it with the hash map. So we can cut that. See if this compiles. Well, we don't have set, so we need to add that. And that's another util. Set. Okay, so that compiles. But now let's see, does that give us everything that we need? Oh no, it doesn't, because we want to check max weight here, right? So, and where we're going to check that is going to be with add item, right? So when we take the item out of the current room, we're going to, oh, and actually, yeah, we needed to do this so we could actually pull the item out of the room too, didn't we? So anyway, so the item will no longer be in the room once it's in the player. But let's see now, what do we need to do? So we need to do some kind of a check in here to see if our weight is okay, right? So let's pretend that we wrote it already. Let's say we wrote a method called can add item. Okay, so if we wrote that, then we would be able to return let's lay this out, right? So if we can add the item, then we'll add it. Right, so if we can add it if the weight's okay. We might decide to put other tests in later. Otherwise, we'll return a null. Because I'm thinking I want to return something here. I'm thinking I want to return the item. So maybe call this something like, pick up item or something like that. Because in that way I can check to see, and this will return the item that I added. Otherwise I'll return false. No. This way I can check to see if the item got picked up. So now let's just say, let's add in a comment. Let's say tries to pick up the item from the current room, and the parameter that we have is field name. That's the item to be picked up. Return if successful, this return the item that was picked up. Okay, and then let's now let's write our can add item. So that's where we want to do our test. Since I called this pickup item, let's call it can pickup item. Okay, so and this one is going to return a Boolean, right? Because it's a test, so it's got to return true or false. So Boolean can pick up item, and it's going to have a string. That's the name of the item. String. Let's call it item. Okay, so when is it that we can pick up the item? We can pick up the item if the total weight of all our items is less than the max, right? But first we should check probably and see if the item's in the room, right? If the item's not in the room, so let's see, item equal, and now we can use our get item that we wrote to see if it's in the room before we do anything else. And then if it's not in the room, then item's going to be null, right? So if item is null, then we can just return false, right? Because we couldn't get it. Okay, so now how do we figure out if we can pick it up? Well, that's going to be calculating the weight. I'm going to have to do some looping, and I'll do that one in the next video.